Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you sitting comfortably? Yes. Mixed response. This is obviously an impromptu storm show here in the Eco Barn because our custom-made portable shut-up theatre outside is completely drowning. Thank you all for arranging to be here at such short notice. We've taken the opportunity to film the show, so in case you're on the run from the law, don't turn your face. And please reveal from shouting any family secrets out into the audience. Today is a Mexican-themed event, it's a Day of the Dead themed event, and as such we thought we'd tell you a story about one of the most famous Mexicans ever. But what's even more important than him is his horse and carriage. There's a very famous song written about his horse and carriage, which was called La Cucaracha, and I'm sure some of you, the older ones, will know the song. A couple of nods, I'll play it for you just in case. That song is called, oh thank you, one clap. That's not bad, is it? I love it. That song is called La Cucaracha, which is Spanish for the cockroach. And Pancho Villa, which is the famous Mexican we'll be talking about today, rode around in a horse and carriage, which was called the cockroach because bits would fall off, wheels would break, reins would snap, and it would keep on going despite being broken, just like a cockroach itself. Would you like to hear all about La Cucaracha?
Yeah.
Would you like to hear all about Francisco Villa?
Yeah.
Okay. Once upon a time, deep down the way long ago in Mexico, Francisco Villa emerged from the desert, and he was a bandit. And his bandit name was Pancho. He would travel the desert, standing up well-heeled travelers who could take their money. Now, looking at you, I'm sure none of you know anything about being a bandit, do you?
No.
No. So I'll give you a little lesson if you like. The ABCs of banditry. Would you like that? Yeah? Okay. I'll give you the 3 sets of secret bandit words. Here they are. And if you like, we can show you how to use them on a well-heeled traveller. And we just happen to have a well-heeled fella right here. Here he is. Come stand here, sir. Now, if I was wandering the desert and I came across such a handsome, wealthy-looking man such as this, I would use the first set of bandit words. And if you'd like to join me, we can all do it together. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And if he puts his hands up, he has to give us his money. I'll get you later. Round of applause, please, for victim number 1. But sometimes you see a very mean honcho. So mean that not even the first set of words would work, and you have to resort instead to the second set of words. And here he is. Here he is. Round of applause, please, for honcho number 2. Come down here, sir. On a fellow like this, you try the first set of words, put him up! But the hands don't go up. Because don't go up. Because he's just too mean. In this kind of situation, you resort to the second set of words. Are you ready? All together. 1, 2, 3. Your money life! And now the hands go up. Because the second set of words are effective on almost everybody. And now you have to give us your money. Round of applause, please. However, every so often you come across a real mean hombre, a super bad honcho, somebody so mean that not even the first nor the second set of bandit words would work. And I believe she's right here. Up you come, up you come. Round of applause for the bad honcho. On this bad hombre, Pancho Villa tried the first set of words. You ready? 3, 2, 1. But the hands did not go up. He tried the second set of words. Your money life! But still the hands did not go up. And this is when Pancho Villa realized he'd made a terrible mistake. Because this Pancho was, in fact, herself the bandit. Isn't that right? A real mean bandit who herself was looking for people to rob. And she happened to have a very large gun. Oh, that's exactly what she's doing, don't worry. It's been pat tested. And she deployed the 3rd set of secret bandit words, which is so secret to keep them covered up down here. There you go. In your own time, just say that. Say the 3rd set of bandit words.
I'm gonna fire us like molasses.
That was me. That was good. That was pretty good. Bit of a hint of a giggle though. I think in you come. Make yourself at home. I think she might need a little bit of help with her mean talk. Okay, should we give her a hand on 3? 1, 2, 3.
Like molasses.
Okay, dress run over. Let's do it for real. Let me put my hat back on. Hat back on. Thank you very much. And if you come stand just over here, right in the alleyway, with your back to the audience, because that's how bad people. They always have their back to the camera, don't they? And now, if you hold your gun up, hold it out, and in your meanest, baddest voice, say the words. Yes.
I'm gonna fry your ass like molasses.
My goodness. Oh my goodness. Round of applause, please. Just like you just saw, Padre Beer indeed had his head narrowly missed by a bullet which knocked off his hat. And he decided this was his time to cease being a bandit and instead move to the city to do that thing that many bandits do when they retire. Become a politician. That's right. And how do you think he got from the desert to the city? He got there in the back of his all-dependable, trusty, reliable, fully shamblomatic cucaracha. If you like, we can all sing the song together. The words are up there. Are you ready? La cucaracha, la cucaracha. It's a broken cargo far, and in the back is Francisco Villa. He's smoking a cigar. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. It's a broken cargo far, and in the back is Francisco Villa. He's smoking a cigar. Pancho Villa arrived in Mexico City in 1904, just in time for all the trouble. The city was racked by revolution, and he had to become, instead of a bandit, a leader of armed men. In fact, some of those skills were transferable. He was famous for always wearing his sombrero, traditional attire of men from the north, and always wearing his mustache and handlebar, which he would twiddle at ladies that he saw out on the street, just like that. At one point, Francisco Villa controlled 1/3 of the whole of the country of Mexico. And eventually he decided to team up with Emilio Zapata, right? Very famous man, very important figure, I should probably have to say his name. And together they marched into Mexico City, took the city effortlessly, and indeed, Francisco Villa sat upon the presidential chair. Do you think that lasted for a long time?
No.
Do you think somebody else came in, a bigger, badder person, and took the city from him? Yes. Out of the desert came the baddest hombre of them all, Al Galon. And here he is, right here.
Oh.
Al Galon. You can stay sitting. That mean stare, that mean confused stare, typical Al Galon. Al Galon invaded the city with a much smaller army than Francisco Villa, but still managed to take it from him and routed him north, back into the desert, back into political obscurity. And how do you think Francisco Villa, oh bless, oh no, that's okay. It's alright, it's hard, isn't it, being president of Mexico? How do you think Francisco Villa got back north? He retreated in the back of his fully shamblomatic, absolutely fantastic La Cucaracha! La Cucaracha, La Cucaracha. It's a broken cargo bar, and in the back is Francisco Villa. He's smoking a cigar. La Cucaracha, La Cucaracha. It's a broken cargo bar, and in the back is Francisco Villa. He's smoking a cigar. The same thing and you'll keep clapping. Francisco Villa retreated to the north of Mexico with only 400 of his most loyal men, determined to reclaim the Mexican throne, presidential chair. But he decided to continue his campaign. He needed two things. First, he needed horses And secondly, he needed guns. Now, can anybody here think of somewhere that's close to the north of Mexico that might have a lot of guns? The United States of America! That's right, he rode over the border, unthinkable today, being just a couple of bandits, into America, attacked the American army, killed 16 men, and took loads of their horses and all of their guns. Here they are. Each of these arrows represents 100 of his 400 men.
3 arrows, Mark.
Oh, okay. Each arrow represents 133.3 of his 400 men. Here they are, invading America, taking horses and spinning back around and coming back down south. Oh, they've had a little collision. Very good, very good. Back down south. Fantastic. Now, if there's one thing that I know about Americans, is that they hate when people take their guns. And President Wilson sent 5,000 beef-eating, freedom-loving, red, white, and blue American soldiers down across the border to capture Emilio Zapata. It was to capture Francisco Villa. They even sent planes for the first time ever in warfare across the border to capture this guy. He's just a bandit at this point with 330 men in the desert. But he's caused this all-out war with a plane circling the desert. Do you think they found Francisco Villa? No. Do you think he evaded capture for a whole month? No. Do you think he sent those Americans back north empty-handed? No. Do you think he was out there in the desert, riding around, laughing to himself, twiddling his mustache, in the back of his old, dependable, trusty, reliable cucaracha? Yeah. Should we sing the song again? Yeah. La cucaracha, it's a broken not go far, and in the back is Francisco Villa. He is smoking a cigar. La cucaracha, it's a broken not go far, and in the back is Francisco Villa. He is smoking a cigar. The 23rd of July was a Friday when Francisco Villa's many enemies finally caught up with him. He was riding to the bank in the back of La Cucaracha with his 5 bodyguards when a street vendor ran out saying, Villa, Villa!
Villa.
Perfect. You speak Spanish? Perfect. When all of a sudden, that was a signal of course, out in front of him came the 9 of the baddest hombres Francisco Villa had ever seen. Here they are. Aren't you? Oh, there's 4 of them here. We know you're already a character. 3 more bad hombres, right? Right? That's 7, and then 2 more bad hombres. Up you go. They all stood in the line.
Stand up.
In you go, everybody. Make yourselves at home.
Stand up.
They stood in the line in front of Francisco Villa. And it turned out they were all holding guns. Huge guns designed for killing elephants. And they got their guns out, ready. And then, oh, come over here. And then they took aim. On the count of 3, they all fired. Bang. No. On the count of 3, they all fired. 1, 2, 3. Woe is me. Well, the round of applause, please. For 9 hombres. Francisco Villa was killed. But at least he died doing what he loved. Sitting in the back of La Cucaracha. And if you'd like, I'll invite you. I've written a commemorative verse to this song to commiserate his passing. Here it is. Would you like to sing it all together? Solemnly? As though mourning a great man and a close friend? Okay, here we go. Rest in peace now, La Cucaracha. You've reached the end of the road. Drift off to heaven, Francisco Villa. You've got bullets in your bones. All together. Rest in peace now, La Cucaracha. You've reached the end of the road. Drift off to heaven, Francisco Villa. You've got bullets in your bones. Now there's no sound way to play a harmonica. So I have to do a weeping solo all together. You ready? Mexico via his adventures.
Oh no.
He was taken back to his hometown of Chihuahua, where he was buried. And 2 days later, his skull was stolen from his grave. It was sold to an American billionaire who collects dead people's heads. I'm not making it up. It took the Mexican government 20 years to reclaim that skull. And when they did, they moved his body from that grave to the freshly minted Museum of the Revolution in Mexico City. And how do you think they transported his body from Chihuahua to Mexico City? In the back of his all dependable, trusty, reliable cucaracha! Who killed him? It was alcohol! That's the uncomprehending stare of a killer, I'm sure. Would you like another story? Yeah! Would you like another musical story? Yeah! Alright, so play us in. Once upon a time, deep, deep down.